definitely need to get a better holder for my palettes because it keeps jumping off into the floor. Hey guys, it's Abby. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. And thank you, just before I get started, thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel because of this challenge. There's not very many people that are doing the Shaaanxo palette yet. The first one that I saw was Bonbon, so I'll link her down below. And yeah, I just thank you so much for subscribing because of that. Like, my numbers have grown quite a bit, which numbers aren't everything, of course. But yeah, just thank you. And thank you to everyone who has left a comment letting me know that you're doing this too, so I'm not alone this year. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the inside of the palette now, then I'll talk about my goals for next month. Okay, so here is the front of the eyeshadow side of the palette. Which the palette did not come like this with the names on it. This is the first edition of this palette, and then she did the remix where she named wrote the names on the shadows. So I just found a picture of that and wrote the names on mine. So if you have this palette and you're doing the challenge and you don't mind writing on your palette, then I would suggest doing that because it's kind of helpful for me to talk about the shadows. So I don't have any pan in any of them yet, which is kind of disappointing. And it's not really disappointing because I know that I haven't used it as much as I probably should, just because I've been doing all these videos with like the Saint and Center palette and all kinds of other stuff. So I think the biggest dips are in Holy Grail and Beach Babe. So I use Beach Babe wet, like with setting spray on my brush, and it kind of uses up a little more product than normal. And I figured that I would have hit pan on Terracotta because like I use that shade all the time. Pretty much every time I use the palette, I use Terracotta. And Buttercup is not moving like at all. I use this, I don't always use transition shades anymore. I find that it's not really necessary. So, but when I use this palette, I try to use Buttercup that way because that's really the only way that I think I can use it. Besides, I think Bonbon's watched her video and she used this as like a blush type of thing, which it looks really interesting. I don't know, I think I tried it on myself, but I couldn't really tell if it looked okay or not. Like, maybe only certain skin tones can get away with that. But yeah, this is just not moving, so. And then let me show you the other side. So no pan here yet either. I've used the lipsticks even less than the eyeshadows. Which I mentioned in the last video, this red right here, I'm not going to call that I hit pan because I was just curious to see how deep the pans were and I kind of stabbed it to see how deep the product was, and it's not very deep at all. But I have used this shade a couple times and I'm probably really close to hitting pan on it, so I should be able to, if I use it just a few more times. Maybe even one more time, shoot, I don't know. Okay, so I've got 4 goals for next month, which is going to be kind of lofty, but I'm hoping that, like, in combination with each other, these goals will help me, like, achieve the other ones, I should say. So I want to hit pan on 2 lipsticks. So I know, like I said, I might be close on this shade right here, and then I'm probably going to move on to either this one or this one. I'm not too sure. I kind of want to use this one because it's a little dark, but it doesn't look like this on my lips. It looks more of like a hot pinkish type of thing, so I don't know. So I'm going to hit pan on 2 of those. So I want to use the palette at least 5 times per week. So I have a planner, so I'm going to, like, each week I'll draw little check boxes every day that I use it. So I can keep track of how many times, because I couldn't tell you how many times in the past month that I've used it. So yeah, hopefully that will help me to, just keep learning about what color combinations that I like. I mean, there's not that many color combinations you can do with a palette, but, I want to use each shade at least 3 times, so that's what this little thing on the palette is. Can you even see that? Is it too bright? So I just wrote each eyeshadow shade and then I did like a little grid thing for the lipsticks. So I'll just put a check mark or a tally mark when I use each one so that I know if I use it 3 times or not. But that really helped me when I was painting the Nude Tude palette from the Balm a couple years ago. I had a goal to use each shade like 10 times or whatever, and that helped me to actually use them. So hopefully this will help on this palette too. As far as the eyeshadows, I want to hit pan on Holy Grail. So this is one that I use probably the most at this point because I use it as a highlighter and I use it for like highlight shade on my eyes too. And then if I'm kind of lazy, I'll just put like a little bit of terracotta or maybe like a bronzer in the crease, and then I'll mix Holy Grail and Glow Baby together on the lid and call it done. So that Holy Grail should be the first to hit pan. Alright, that is it for this video. Let me know if you are panning anything, if you are panning the Shaaanxo palette. A couple people have already reached out to me and said they were. So that's awesome. Good luck to you guys. And yeah, I'm just hoping that that I get a little bit more progress to help motivate you guys. So anyways, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.